Welcome back once again to the Escape Pod. I'm Sammy Maida, I'm the author. I want to talk a little bit tonight about some of the factual things that Project 211, excuse me, thing keeps sliding, wants to fall over. Project 211 is about. Like I've said before, this story is fictitious history. And when I say that, I say it because this really didn't happen. But you don't know that. And there's a reason why you don't know that if you get all the way to the end. Of course, I'm not going to go all the way to the end. But there's a reason why you don't know this happened as a story. But some of the things that are in this book really did happen. And some of the things that are in this book, material things, were actually built or were in the process of being built before they were either canceled or they went somewhere else. And so they're all products of, they're not figments of my imagination, and they're not fiction. They really did exist. And as a matter of fact, a lot of them existed in the timeline of when this story takes place. So it's very interesting to write. It also makes it very hard to write because you're trying to squeeze all these things into a little ball, like your own little globe, and say, all right, does the world still spin if you make this all work? And I'm trying to make it work, and so far I think it's going to work. The German atomic bomb project, it did exist, and I think we're finding out more now as history goes along just how far the Germans really were. Most historical content will tell you that the Germans didn't get very far, and to be honest, I really don't think they did. I don't think they quite got that far. There were some miscalculations that Heisenberg made that threw them way off the track, and after a while, they weren't centralized. They had, these people did this, these people did this, these people did this, the army stepped in, the army stepped out. They were never, focalized as the Manhattan Project was to complete an atomic bomb. The only reason the Manhattan Project existed was to counter this threat that the Nazis had to build an atomic bomb. If the Nazis hadn't started an atomic bomb, I don't think we'd have done one. It was never intended for Japan. It was actually intended for Germany. A lot of people don't even realize that. So, yeah, I embellish upon the project as kind of what if they continued with it. To the D-Day speech, which is given, you'll see it in the book, I think it's in the 3rd or 4th chapter, by Hitler, chewing out his generals, that really did happen. There's no context of what was said, but people know what happened in the realm of things. They know that Rommel got his ass chewed by Adolf Hitler, and they know that they got bombed during this speech. And so I said it as into one of my chapters. It's one of the reasons what alludes to, hey, let's go on this path and try to do things, to change the theater of the war. Bombing New York. Hitler wanted to bomb New York by any means possible. Didn't matter what it was. That's in the book. The German aircraft carrier. Yeah, the Germans had an aircraft carrier. As a matter of fact, they technically had 2 of them. Actually, they had 3 of them, but they only really had 1 that was functional, 2 that was semi-built. Third one was they were stripping an old ocean liner to make it work, whatever. So the German aircraft carrier is correct. The name might be different. You may not know. Find out when you read the book. The super German battleship. Hitler wanted to create a series of super battleships, and you never heard of them, you never saw them, but yeah, they made them. They laid them down. They never launched, but they laid them down. So all these things make an appearance in the book. The jet aircraft. The Americans had jet aircraft. They were just too late in the war, but they were testing them. So there's a lot of things that make their way into the book that make people think, I wonder why this didn't happen, or I wonder why they didn't hear this, or, I wonder. It makes you wonder. And that's the purpose of writing this book. So that's why it's been a lot of fun, is to kind of toy with people's mentions of history. So anyway, just another tidbit from here at the Escape Pod at Project 211.